Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Pangolin Advisor, also known as Panchasu, and welcome back to my Hissho playthrough. I do apologize for publishing this video a little bit late, and yes, I already know it's going to be late. Unfortunately, I was unable to record this video in advance, and today, and yes, I am basically publishing it as soon as I can record it. Today, unfortunately, I don't feel that great, so I will also have to call it a little bit of a short video, probably like half an hour or something, but maybe I'll feel better halfway through. I do want to record something, however, and I do certainly feel like murdering some voters, so let's get right to it. Refuse the truce, because we don't want any truce to be there. The galaxy, unfortunately, does not appreciate my aid in making it thrive economically. Hey, I swindled the marketplace. I believe that should be good enough, right? Anywho, as soon as I sell some of my useless luxuries, which ones are those? Everything except Transvine, Hydromeo, and Red Sang. Right. So super spots I can sell, no worries. There's Blue Cap Mod as well. I will keep the Protospores. Seems like I do actually have income of those, and they would be amazing to have and use. And I can sell some of my Red Sang as well. There's no reason to keep as much of it as I currently do, and that gives me a lot of resources. Moreover, I'm going to enable the Spoils of War Act. Should be good enough. I'm still gaining a very good amount of influence by 10, and should be able to refuse the next Forced Truce Treaty. Finally, one more thing I did realize I need to do this video is to improve my air units somewhat, so that they can actually do a little bit more damage, since I am using those. Now, with that in mind, I should be good to go to continue my game. So first of all, Nekos requires some orders. It definitely will not be getting Battlefield Archaeology. This system doesn't have enough science production to justify that. Instead, I'm gonna give it big data shipyards and allow it to start working on its own, very own set of kites. Not falcons, just kites. I'll have them close to the front line so I can send in falcons from the other parts of the empire nice and easy. Also, this will make this system a little bit more defensible, which is always good. I also need to declare war on the Blue Alliance, the Sulphon Alliance, but that can wait for a little bit longer. Obliterator is going to sleep. You guys, however, will do everything but that. Oh, also, do I have heroes deployed in their fleets? I do have a distinct feeling that there's one hero of no assignment. Indeed. Well, let's have a quick look-see. This fleet could use a hero. It does have 2 falcons, bunch of kites. Seems like a good enough fleet. I'm going to make sure that you guys are going to be at the head of the fleet. Thank you very much. And I'll invade and take over Wasat as soon as possible. Meanwhile, over here, the enemy actually managed to create a sizable fleet, although I doubt it's going to be all that effective or even efficient against me. Although with a hero among their midst, that might be a bit of a tougher nut to crack. Well, in either way, let us see how difficult it really is going to be. The enemy has advantage in both types of weapons. I am best at close range. The enemy does have a lot of fighters and bombers, however, and I will be able to shoot them down with flags, so that is good. As for non-fighters and bombers, what does the enemy use? A lot of energy weapons, looks like. And they're kind of banking on being either at middle or short range, but they're very, very mixed. What was that noise? Did you hear that? Or... if you didn't hear that, then it means that something happened in real life, which was really loud and sounded kind of scary. If otherwise, I actually don't know what it was. It was weird. I actually got scared. Anywho, let us think about how to deploy here. The enemy has a bunch of, 2 carriers. This is not a very bad setup, but I think I'm going to let the upper kite be sacrificed. You know, for the greater good. I'll just let it die. How much health does it have? Maximum, that's good enough. Middle flotilla, I hope it can do alright. And the bottom one obviously it's not that great. I could just ignore the upper flotilla entirely. That would give the enemy advantage from having more flotillas, but it would give me the angle advantage later down the line, which I do enjoy. What else do I go for? Grum recycling? I might actually need that bit. But then the bottom flotilla would not be very effective at its job, would it? I'm gonna give one more kite to the middle one then. Keep the bottom one as a bare minimum. And let's see how it goes. I kind of feel like I should put one more guy in the bottom flotilla. Because if they face up against a carrier, they would be dead in the water, and now they have a chance at least. Yeah, let's do it this way, and let's see where that takes us. Alright, no carrier in the bottom flotilla. There is a middle ship and a bunch of small ones. I will have very inefficient range setup over here, and the enemy will not get close to me either, which is suboptimal of course. But at the very least, the middle flotilla will be taken care of very quickly, allowing me to even the odds on the flotilla count, and then the upper flotilla will also be cleared out easily. It's the bottom flotilla I'm most afraid of. It seems to be the toughest out of all. Also, that's a really cool shot. I'm liking this so far. I will skip to the action, however, because since I can only record for so long today, I kind of want to just see the best thing I can see of this battle. And wow, that was a cool shot. I want more of that. Not this shot. Okay, this one is better. But let's keep exploring, or rather observing, this wonderful spectacle of death. Hey, there are nukes underneath. That's good to know. Right. Seems like this carrier seriously does not want to go down. And my ships are taking a little bit of a beating over in the middle lane. Not sure from what exactly, but something is attacking them. I think it's just the bombers that fire us. Yes, it is. I am fighting them back with flak, but there's only so much you can do, I suppose. The bottom flotilla is taking damage. In fact, it looks like the bottom one might fall apart faster than the other ones, which is not entirely what I suspected at all. And my middle flotilla is dying, but okay. Damage bonus for the enemy has been eliminated. Everybody is dying, however. Well, Grim Harvest at the very least is going to be an efficient one, since I did lose a ship. I'd rather not lose it, of course, but with the enemy fleet being as large as it was, I thought that it was unavoidable. I mean, losing a ship was unavoidable, rather. And soon I should be in the dead. Yeah, the enemy shouldn't be able to attack me anymore. My angle of attack is too good for the enemy. Ships don't have any weapons facing the back, after all, and I'm just chasing the enemy ships down, so it should be fine. I'm not sure if I will be able to destroy them, but potentially. Actually, the hero ship is firing back now at one of my flotillas. But either way, I did alright. Could have been better, I suppose, but certainly wasn't that bad. Minor victory, I certainly wouldn't call it that. But well, at the very least, fleet is going to be repaired, which is very good because those kites were nearly dead. The enemy was almost entirely destroyed. How big of a fight it was? It was a giant bloodbath, I do agree. This was probably the biggest and most awesome looking fight we had thus far at the very least. Alright, I will need to put in some extra kites and probably retreat one of the most injured ones and then move in another kite. And I'll even move in the Kestrel because I might as well. This is going to give me a little bit of a meat shield against the enemy, I suppose. And then I can attack the enemy again, except I don't have the action point. I could attack with the other fleet or just move ships to this fleet and attack with it, but I don't quite feel like it. Also, I'm going to exchange one more kite, move in with my Falcon, and these two kites are just gonna sit there and be here for extra manpower deployment and extra siege power. Meanwhile, over here, I'm going to check what battles I can have, and apparently the enemy has major advantage this time. However, I know that the game is lying to me. Of course, I'm sure the enemy fleet and fighter and bomber array our number is impressive, and indeed it is, but I doubt it's going to be an issue. Alright, I'm going to go for the same strategy I went with last time, except with slight modifications. I'll put the hero ship in the middle flank, 2 tanky ships in the bottom fleet, and a Castro in the middle flotilla as well. I might put in one more kind in the bottom area, just in case they actually deploy a carrier over there. In fact, let's put 2 of those guys in there, 2 tanky ships in the middle, nobody in the top flotilla. The enemy has very few ships. Let's see what they do exactly, but before I commence this, yeah, I'm gonna go for the turtle strategy, I think. And again, I have most of my ships in the middle flotilla. I don't think I'm going to lose any ships this time around, however, so it should be fun. And the enemy concentrated all the firepower in the middle one, so my deployment was alright. Could be a little better in this specific situation, but either way, I will get the flotilla bonus, which is important. And worst comes to worst, even if my entire middle flotilla is destroyed, my bottom flotilla will still be able to fire at the enemy carriers without the carriers being able to return fire. So everything should be jolly. They have some fancy purple thingies. What were those? Well, let's try to figure it out with the free camera. I saw some purple thingies. It may have been the background area, however. Okay, they have really good laser weaponry. They have good beams, good lasers themselves. So their energy weapons are top mark, unfortunately, as much as I wish they weren't. And the enemy fighter as well, and bombers. I am not too worried about those. I should be able to kill them just fine with flak. I do have a lot of flak. Yeah, those are some purple missiles, aren't they? Are they swarm missiles? They fire rather rarely, but I didn't see enough of them to actually establish that it was swarm missiles. I'll wait for more of them to be fired. Yeah, these are missiles of some kind. Are they? I'm starting to think they might be quadrinix missiles, and if they are, that would be an issue, since I did not expect the Voiders to have this kind of technology. Now keep in mind, even with this technology, I still have the military edge, mostly because of me having more and better ships than the enemy has. But that being said, with this I am tempted to become somewhat slightly intimidated and treat the enemy with a little bit more respect, by which I mean potentially make more ships or fleets enter the Voiders' airspace. Or I suppose space? I don't know how to refer to that, really. Well, I did win. I also lost a ship which I didn't expect. But it was alright. Was it also a giant bloodbath? Yes, it was, unfortunately. Hero level up, that was to be expected, and Battlefield Grandmaster is unlocked, which is very good. That is going to increase my fleet firepower considerably, as well as its survivability. Finally, do I want to begin deploying troops? Not yet. I will be tempted to bomb the enemy next turn once ultra theft materials kick in. One more fleet awaits orders, because it's still under development, but now it's not anymore. It's relatively fast. 11 speed out of 20, that's really good speed actually. And I can just send it to reinforce whatever I want to reinforce. GRUS is a potential candidate, Libra is also a candidate. Let's see. I do have a fully functioning fleet over in here, with a hero attached to it as well. And this fleet is probably going to go up north as soon as it deals with Wasat. So I will need to send in somebody to help reinforce Libra, or to make GRUS fall down a little bit faster. Is there any other system I would want to take over in here? Potentially Dill, since it does have a lot of strategic resources I might be interested in. So it might be a system I take over instead of obliterate. Besides, it does have a system shield as well, making it even more of a tempting target. So I'll send my fleet over to reinforce my main fleet, my flagship fleet per se. I also have a humongous amount of key now, so let's make sure I can make good use of it by installing another Fuel Institute. Thank you very much. No need for this falcon as well. Well, not at this point. And let's queue up battlefield archaeology. This should be very, very good for us. Let's see what systems make the most science. Rujo is number 1. And then miles behind is Ugaro, so I don't really have to worry about making more battlefield archaeology sites just yet. But Ugaro is a tempting one indeed. And it doesn't even have F Reality Institute. Once it does, it's going to be even better, which is good to know. For the time being, however, I will end the turn and see where that takes me. And drink a little bit of water for a change. Yeah, you can tell that I don't feel very well because I'm drinking water instead of tea. I've got an obliterator ready to fire, that is excellent. What do I want to fire upon? Corvus is just a blight on the face of the universe. I could kill it, but I hate the Voters way more than I hate the Sophons. So, ideally I want to target a system that is far away and that is unlikely to have a system shield. That being said, what I care about the most is making sure that I can destroy the enemy home systems. So do I see a home system that is undefended? Albany is unfortunately defended. Kran is also defended. And Yersh has a citadel installed, so that one is not gonna go well if I try to destroy it. Another citadel already at Orm. The only place I can reliably target is Heka, but unfortunately I don't want to target Heka, not just yet. So let's focus on targets that are a little bit more close by and try to get the maximum effectiveness from my ship. So Birius is a potential target. Corvus is another target that I could destroy. It would ensure safety from this angle if the enemy were to jump ships or whatever. Nair is just something I want gone, honestly. Nair is probably the best target, since it is far away, but it might not actually make a system shield in the near future. And, you know, it will only take me 6 turns to actually destroy it. That's not that bad. Obliterate launch publicized, so everybody noticed me firing the obliterator. And people will have increased pressure and they are more likely to declare war on me. I really like the fact that this kind of action is included in the game. It's really cool. And it was publicized twice for some reason. And I can now, since the truce ended with those 3 factors, I can now actually begin start a war with them. I'm not going to research random technologies. I explained many times why I hate these. I certainly don't want any more random technologies. Thank you very much. As for this hero, lowering her upkeep is not awful since I don't see much else that she can give me, really. So I'm gonna do just that. The Terran hero also leveled up and I'm going to make sure that he gives me a little bit more industry. And finally we've got the weird bat sort of like hero who's also going to be improved somewhat. Although I don't really have anything that's so that good, I have to be honest with you. I guess a little bit more science will never hurt, honestly. Okay, with that in mind, I can just ignore all of the other notifications. Declare the attack on civilians, it looks like. Well, sorry, Sophons, I killed some of your civilians. If you have any complaints, well, don't send them to me because I literally could care less. Start working on fabrication license at Playons. It will take a while, and Playons certainly needs it. Meanwhile, this system, what does it want? What can it give me? More fabrication license. And Ubella can give me, let's see, can't colonize the Arid planet, but it does have a Dimension which I could mine if I were to colonize it, but too much effort, honestly. You said I could go for even more fabrication science, but let's go for Ancestral Reverence for just a little bit, and go for the fabrication license on my home system, nice and easy. And finally, finally, I believe Ugaro needs to get the science thing queued up, so F-Reality Institute, just so that I remember to do it. And also Ridjo needs to have its honor zone activated to boost the production of all of my systems in range, because that is just a wonderful thing to have. The enemy probably reinforced, but that should still be an easy fleet to defeat. In fact, we don't need to watch this, we have seen a fight like this before. And since this video again is going to be a shorter one, I don't want to spend too much time. Just in case, I will use Grum Recycling. And I'm tempted to put Castro in the upper fleet, but I will not do anything of the sort. I'll put more ships in the middle flotilla and a few ships in the bottom one as well, just in case they need to destroy things. This setup should be good enough to destroy the enemy ships, nice and easy. Will they fight or will they run away? They fought us, nice, and... oh. I guess my deployment was not quite as good as I expected. And not enough firepower in the middle flotilla, I believe. It was the cause of my demise there. Not really demise per se, my fleets are still there. I also had outdated ships, that is true. Well, I could attack again, but I can't, so I guess I couldn't. Let's see, I will need to send in reinforcements ASAP. I'm almost tempted to delay my war with the Sophons just to send reinforcements, but now that would be too ridiculous. Send some ships to Ibera and create a few kites in there, pick them up along the way. I believe that's a good idea. Alright, I can make another Falcon in here, just to speed the transition time, and then 2 extra kites, and this is going to be a good fleet to send it over to Libra. And I need to be very careful not to lose this fleet, because then the enemy will regain their fortification, and I certainly do not want anything of the sort to happen. This would just undermine the entire time I spent attacking the enemy. I refuse to stop attacking your fleets, and if you have a problem with that, I will declare war on you.
We've seen eels more trustworthy than you.
Well, they're going to have more defense, that is alright, since I have no plans on attacking the Lumeres in the near future anyway. But what I'm going to do now is to see if I can maybe weaken GRUS somewhat by using preemptive bombing. My troops have been improved due to the most recent research, so hopefully it's going to go right, and I am hoping I can destroy some of the defensive structures on this system. Well, no, instead I destroy structures outside rather have, and the enemy has dealt a lot of damage using their air fighters, which is not ideal. The tanks look almost completely useless. I can swoop to air only, potentially. Ignore tanks, since I mean my tanks also did a very good job, I would say. Well, I will retreat for now. I have weakened the enemy somewhat. This will make this siege a little bit faster, but I don't want to lose my people without a good reason, so I'll just wait for the time being. Let's see, Helios is walking on a kite. Good, well, let's make sure that this kite is defending this area just in case. I do not feel all that comfortable with declaring war on the Sophons just yet, I have to be honest, but I will do it because I need a challenge and it seems like a fun time to do so. So, hey Sophons.
Why are you knocking around?
Because I want to kill you, and it's going to give me wonderful
Gosh,
bonuses.
We are so surprised that you're a bunch of jerks. Or not.
I mean, their attitude makes it just more fun. Alright, ignore the diplomatic messages. I'm gonna keep my fleets where they are for the most part, kill some civilians, cause I can, and start besieging Kran. I don't believe there's any point in me bombarding it. Yeah, I'll wait before I start actually bombarding the area. Wasat will be taken over quite easily, I hope. So in this case, however, I will bombard things for the very reason that indeed it should be taken over very quickly. Preemptive bombing first, just to soften the enemy up. Good, and the enemy will certainly die next turn. So with that in mind, I will then be able to send in reinforcements to Wasat. Play on, before you make fabrication license, can you make me one more Falcon? So they can make this fleet a little bit faster. That would be great. Okay, and finally, I believe this is actually it for this then. So let us go ahead and end this. Anything else that I can do? I'm not sure. Low manpower. Oh, that's not something I expected. But yeah, I am making ships and whatnot. So I have to say I don't remember the last time I had low manpower warning as the Hissho. Well, either way, Wasat has been taken over nice and easy, and I'm definitely going to occupy it since there is no penalty for me doing this. Right, mining base is here. I don't quite remember what I plan to do with it, other than you know, mine. I'll think about it because right now, as I said, I don't feel very well. And I might make stupid decisions and whatnot. Okay. Close borders. What did the enemy... Oh, come on! The Hissho... Okay. The Horatio signed the truce. I believe it is about time I leave this alliance, actually. Because the Horatio keep asking for a truce. Or rather, accepting a truce. Or just... I have no idea what they are doing, but... It is infuriating. I wish it gave me a chance to leave the alliance before the truce was declared. That being said, I won't complain. I got Wasat, I lost nothing for it. I can now use this fleet to reinforce Libra, and I will certainly need to do that. And I've got a mining behemoth, which I'm not sure where I want to send, so for the time being, I'll send it over to Yuba, and this will give me time to think what I want to do with it. I'll consider it to Nekos, because I feel like if I want it to be somewhere, it's probably that place rather than any other place. Wasat is entirely empty and partially depleted, which is somewhat hilarious in my book, but I can make it pay for itself, I suppose. I'm not going to waste luxury resources, but having more strategic ones, that's certainly worthwhile, so let's kill things up. And the system will finish doing what it's supposed to do in about 1 billion years. Meanwhile, this system, it certainly could get some benefits from the luxury resources. But you know what it also could do? Is install battlefield archaeology. But then again, I could do the same in some other systems that I care about a little bit more. So let's see, Ugara will get that at some point, but Emacs also produces a decent amount of science and requires orders. So let's go ahead and go over here, check what is queued up in here, and my amount of key. I want a bit more key for a Field Institute, but I can get Punctuated Evolution Foundation and Battlefield Archaeology right afterwards, which is a pretty good idea. And then level 3 modernization just to have a little bit more fitsy, which also includes science production, which is good. Excellent. Let's move my ships around. The TPU B2. You were supposed to be another obliterator, weren't you? As it stands, I cannot afford turning you into an obliterator right now, but I can move you. And there's no reason not to at this point, so I'll move him to over here. And then I might just leave him here and let him charge up new and more shots. Alternatively, I can just move him faster later. I need to check my obliterator blueprint, however. That's relatively fast. I suppose I could make it faster if I were to install anti-matter engine. Or just Hyperium engine, actually, now that I think about it. What does TBOB use? Just regular engines, but I can give obliterators better engines. Not only does it increase the survivability thanks to evasion, but also I no longer am as desperately starved for Hyperium as I used to be. So that's something to keep in mind. And I'll do the same thing for TBUBs. Then again, TBUBs are to be replaced at all times, so that doesn't make much sense. I'll just give them more regular engines to make them slightly faster. Or rather, ridiculously faster. It is an expensive upgrade, but at the same time, I can get to Nekos in no time, or even to Ugara, and I might want to do this. From there, I could destroy Dorado, which would be fun to watch. And I would be able to begin firing at the Ibani, because it would take a long time to break through the system shield. But it is doable, of course, and I'll keep pounding at it while I can. Alright. I can attack the enemy again. I'm a little bit worried, but I think I should be alright if I do so. But let's be cautious. There's no need to rush. Let's have a few ships join up with this fleet, and I have Yubela working on another kite. I could wait for it, or I could not do so. I'm choosing not to wait for another kite. I'll just send those guys with the 2 falcons they have, and should be good enough. And you didn't even have big data shipyards, that's pathetic. Or quantum data circuits, which is something I need to install in every of my systems that actually produces military technology. That being, you know, just ships. Like Playon, for instance, but oh well, it's already on its way making Falcon. But in here, I certainly do want quantum computing, so let's go ahead and install that, and the 10. And as I said, this is going to be a short video, so I'm going to end it here as well, because I'm really not thinking straight with the way I'm feeling right now, and moreover, I really want this video to be online as quickly as humanly possible, since it is far later than I wanted it to be. It is going to be published far later than I wanted it to be. At the same time, even though I kind of want to keep going, you know, just one more turn, I know I can start blubbering about I will have more difficulty speaking properly and coherently, which is always an issue for me in the first place. And oh, now you did it, Horatio. Now you did it. I won't have that. I won't have that. Horatio,
Greetings.
I'm gonna leave the alliance. Bye. And you guys are gonna be at war with me. Yes, I'm gonna stay at war. I'll keep up the siege, because there's no way in the high heavens I will let the enemy just take it away from me. Take this victory away from me. And you know what? I said I would end this video, but one more battle wouldn't hurt, right? I'm curious how this one is gonna go. I will go for green recycling. It will take a while for my reinforcements to come in. I think it's gonna be... oh wait, I have bigger is better. And it's going to work wonderfully since I am fighting against carriers. Okay. Now my fleet deployment and, you know, long range, that doesn't go... that's not gonna be very well... that's not going to work very well together. But at the same time, the enemy deployed nothing in the bottom flotilla, so that literally won't matter in the slightest. Let's skip to the action and watch the fight. Alright, so the enemy is still using those fancy new missiles that they started using recently. So yeah, I certainly am very happy that I left the alliance and decided to keep up the pace, since this means that the enemy will not have the time to catch up to me in terms of military technology, since they clearly are catching up to me. They have very powerful missiles and resources to use them. They are just spamming carriers, which are very powerful after all. That's what the carriers are for, destroying a bunch of stuff. And I personally couldn't afford to make fleets, you know, filled with carriers. So I certainly do want to keep up the offensive. I need to take over the enemy most important worlds and start blowing up the other ones. It is a shame I had to leave the alliance with the Horatio, but they were causing me more harm than good at this point. Also, the enemy even has Orcalcix based fighters and bombers, which is awful for me, but at the same time it's also awful for them, since I don't believe they are that great, really. They are still fighters and bombers, I can shoot them down. Although they are remarkably resilient, to keep firing at them and they still don't go down. I'm almost tempted to install a few fighters of my own, and you know what, after this fight concludes, I'll check the battle report, see just how useless those fighters and bombers are. Because if they are more powerful and useful than I anticipated, I might actually decide to use some more countermeasures to fight the enemy. Also, the enemy carriers just don't want to die. My ships are also very good at not dying, that's the good part, I suppose. But alright, one carrier down, that's already good enough for me to call this battle a good one to have had... okay, seriously, I will need to end this video, because I cannot think straight, my English is even worse than usual, and it's just awful. But hey, cores of the Alliance Sentinels have been destroyed since Hissho were awful.
Were you cloned from toads? Hissho.
Yeah, well, oh well. Gained a lot of ki, that's good, I can go for another Fealty Foundation, I can keep the siege up, which is also very important. I will queue up a quantum dumped circuits on my home system, as well as... Assistant shirt is really not necessary, I'll be honest with you. Fealty Foundation, however... Wait, I have Fealty Institute everywhere already. Well, I'll think about the place where I can put it next stand, because right now I don't have the right mindset for this. Hey, Ugaro needs something. I guess I can give it to Ugaro. So you do say you're gonna get yourself a Fealty Institute. Congratulations, I'm sure you're happy. And Microwave Pipes as well. And end the 10 and end the video as well, ladies and... Okay, never mind election. Let's vote for the Industrialists, because they're the best. I do hope they actually win the election. Let's speed this up, because I was doing my outro. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Pangolin Advisor, also known as Panchasu. I do apologize if this video was worse than the other ones. I certainly expect it was. But I did want to publish one now, because tomorrow there is going to be a big multiplayer collaboration live stream of Endless Space 2. So I will not post any videos then, and then on Sundays things are happening, like I wouldn't be able to record more videos anytime soon, so I have to do those things right now. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you online.